making an absolutely perfect day at Hofstra University, the site of the quarterfinal matchup. Offensive powerhouses, 6th seed Virginia. The Cavaliers will face off against the number 3 seed Syracuse Orangemen. Watch out, folks. You're going to see a lot of action from the offensive end. Hi, everyone. I'm Leif Elsmo, joined by Bob Rule, formerly an All-American goalie at Cornell. And Bob, we're talking about scoring goals here.
Well, if you look at this, these could be the 2 best transition teams in the nation. You probably see 40 goals scored today. You'll see guys running up and down the field, running the fast break. It'll be an exciting day of offensive lacrosse.
Well, there's a lot of offensive stars in this world, but one guy stands above all, and that is Mr. Powell, Casey Powell. Let's take a look at the Syracuse offensive end of the field.
Okay, you look at Casey Powell. He is arguably the best player in lacrosse today, collegiate lacrosse. The way he is so great is he'll find 10 different ways to beat you. He'll throw the backhand pass, the backhand shot. He'll find seams that nobody else finds. He's the top scorer in the nation, had 9 points against Virginia early in the season. He's one of the keys today.
Well, nobody thought that Gary Gates' records would be beaten, but he is the guy that's going to do that. Of course, his brother Ryan, critical to the offensive end on that end of the field. Virginia can score from a lot of different ways, but it seems like they have a lot of confidence in one guy, Jay Jalbert.
Well, Jay Jalbert is their top goal scorer. Last year as a freshman, he had the ball in his stick for the last play of Virginia's season. That's the kind of confidence they have in him. Today, he's got to come up big. He's got to score goals today, and he's the best finisher. He's got to finish off plays.
Virginia looking to get a lot of offense out of their team. They need a big day out of their goalie, Sanderson. We have a great matchup in store for you. The teams are locked and loaded. Come back to Hofstra in just a moment.
Carl Reuter back here at Hofstra Stadium, Hempstead, New York, quarterfinal action. It is Syracuse, it is Virginia. 2 teams that love to light up the scoreboard. Let's go back to February 28th of this season. 49 seconds were left in the game. Virginia's David Wren, number 2, takes the feed from number 16, Tucker Rodenbach. 17-16 UVA. Game over? No, sir. Syracuse would come right back in this one. Number 22, Casey Powell, maybe the best in the country, takes the feed. Number 8, Matt Kataya, ties it at 17, and we go off to overtime. Now there's only 19 seconds left in the game. Ryan Powell, the gift to Devin Darcangelo. 4th goal of the game coming up, and the sophomore ends it. And this will be 18-17 in overtime. It is Syracuse edging Virginia. If you like goals, stay tuned. As Bob and Leif alluded to just moments ago, we could see upwards of 40 goals in this quarterfinal matchup. And we're coming up with that matchup in just a few moments when we come back to Hofstra Stadium, Hempstead, New York. It's Syracuse and Virginia. Stay tuned.
We're back at Hofstra. Great quarterfinal matchup. Ready for the opening face-off. It is Virginia in the orange jerseys, Syracuse in the white. Leif Elsmo, Bob Rule, Carl Reuter on the sideline.
Now, one thing, Virginia's had a little bit of problems with face-offs this year. That could be really key in this ballgame.
Always are. Possessions, of course, you talk about teams that score about 40 goals against each other. You've got to have the ball. This is Casey Powell, number 22. Head and shoulders the best player, the most dynamic player in the country. He gets hammered by his defensive matchup during the day. That's going to be number 6, Ryan Curtis. And Curtis whacks him in the head.
Wow. I didn't see a flag on that.
I think it was a push call. What do we have?
Push. Watch this in the head. Bang! Boy, oh boy. That was a mugging, not a push.
Teams at even strength, 6-on-6. Syracuse has the first possession. Syracuse has scored 40 goals against Virginia the last 2 times they played them. And that's what Chris Sanderson in the goal number 22 is thinking about probably right now. How he's got to get a little tougher. Sanderson is very, very tough kind of style goalie, Bob Rule. You're a goalie, but he's a blocker. He'll stand up and face anything you throw at him.
Problem is they throw a lot at him in Syracuse.
Ira Vanderpool going against the defense of Ragusa. A lot of the challenge for Syracuse as he goes against Curtis again is to give Casey Powell opportunities to shoot. Not a great shot. Curtis got a piece of stick up, but Bob, we'll see them in this game do a lot of things to get the ball in his stick.
Exactly, and they want to try as much as one-on-one, get him in front, get the team to be so conscious they can dump it off. He's a great assist man also, not just a goal scorer.
Out of bounds balls, you might see Casey come over and take it on the down situation. You want the ball in number 22's stick.
In the last game, he had 5 goals and 4 assists. That gives you an idea of the power that he had. I saw him play last year against UMass didn't have a goal, he had 8 assists. That's the kind of player he is. He can beat you so many different ways. Watch his quickness. Watch how his feet move. You can tell this guy is high-powered.
Big shot from out front by David Wren to start it off, and Wren beats Syracuse for the first goal of the game. Virginia has a lot of different players that can score. This time they come from the midfield. David Wren makes it a 1-0 game.
And David Wren really just powered his way around his man. If we see the here, now watch the replay. Look at Wren. Powers his way around, and really, you saw the Syracuse defenseman was out really too far to back up. And he just, watch this now. Wren gets the ball, switches to his right hand, want to be able to go righty lefty in lacrosse, and really just powers down and takes a good hard bounce shot that Gebhardt didn't have enough time. Really, would have been a tough save for him to make.
And now later in the quarter, Virginia had the ball. Michael Leahy gives the ball off to David Wren. He is the only goal of the game. He's getting things crossed up. A shot there and a goal. David Wren 2. And Syracuse nothing. We've got 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Virginia off to an early lead. Quarterfinal action from Hofstra. Stay with us. 2-0 the score in favor of David Wren. Oh, and Virginia. But Wren is really hot, and Bob, they're initiating from up top. They're trying to beat him in the midfield, and obviously they feel like they have an advantage there, and they're making it work, getting good shots on Gebhardt.
Exactly, and you know what's that? You're not seeing the Syracuse team back up. They're spreading their attack out a little bit, and the defensemen are going out with them. They can't help out to back up on the midfielders. It's worked twice now. Notice, too, who's winning the face-off is Syracuse.
Syracuse winning where they thought they had an advantage the other way. Vanderpool comes in and takes a hard shot. Ira Vanderpool, the senior from Norwalk, Connecticut, makes it a 2-1 game. Talked about a lot of offense, and here it comes.
And you see it though from the midfield. It's interesting. They're getting free, but we talked about winning faceoffs. It starts to get its effect. Here comes Vanderpool. Now watch this move. Move to the right and just burst of speed. Good right-hand hard shot to the far side. Beats Sanderson. Nothing you can do about it. But there's been no backup in this game right now.
His 14th goal of the season. Focus on Casey Powell. So far, no goals from him, but 2 for Virginia's David Wren, and Vanderpool makes it a 2-1 game. 4-0 in the faceoff department. Syracuse really doing a job there. Vanderpool back on the field, and it may be a clearing situation.
10-second violation. They get in the offensive side of the field in 10 seconds when we're in the neutral zone.
Roy Simmons, member of the Hall of Fame. John Desko is assistant, longtime assistant. That's a great combination right there, those two guys.
Wonderful. John Desko, too, we were over watching Garden City play one of the local high schools. And that's where Desko was Thursday, taking a high school game.
Kevin Donahue, also a longtime coach, tremendous offensive player there. And then again, Laddie Horrell, also there from Bowling Green. I played with Laddie Horrell.
Really?
And obviously, Bowling Green's influence is important to the Syracuse success.
I think you're right.
Roy Simmons has really made fans of a lot of people with his run-and-gun style at Syracuse. He sort of changed the face with the Gate brothers of field lacrosse, added a creative element that was never seen before.
And I always think that's true. If you look at coaches, I think Bill Tierney would be a terrible coach at Syracuse, and Coach Simmons would be a terrible coach at Princeton because they have such different styles, different types of players.
Tucker Radeball coming in, and Radeball, one of the sensational offensive stars from Glenarm. Ball coming in, he thought it went in, but it didn't. Gebhardt looks behind him, but it was rejected. Did it come off the iron?
I think it came off a post. Yes. The goalie's best friend.
Riccoloni gets it back now behind the goal. It's Drew McKnight controls.
I was saying, Simmons lets his boys play. Most coaches tear their hair out when you go a backhand pass. Simmons loved it. He'd like to beat you 25-24 if he can. Bill Tierney would go crazy if his team scored 25 goals against him.
I love the Syracuse. I love both styles, but
right.
I've always loved and been a fan of the Syracuse style. Big shot there, bounces wide. And then a shot redirected wide in front of the goal. Look at the sliding defense coming crashing in the form of Matt Alexander.
I like it, but you know what I like? I like Virginia's movement of the ball. That's what you do. Move that ball around and you'll find guys who are open like that.
Jay Jalbert uses that over-the-head dodge move, which he's done. He's gone over the top of the stick in front of him. He's got the size to make that work. And then a rocket shot out of the pipe. And Gebhardt just watches that one rip past his head.
You know,
3-1.
There's where he used his size to his advantage. He turned, he protected the stick shot over his shoulder. Jay Jalbert, great individual move. Now watch Jalbert, watch him working the defenseman, back and forth, back and forth. Defenseman makes a little mistake, puts the stick behind him, and Jalbert using his size, shoots right over the defenseman, by the goaltender Gebhardt. Great shot.
Galbert's 34th goal on the season, 3-1 early here in this one. And if you talk about what goalie's hot, what goalie's not, right now it's pretty obvious. Gebhardt off to a slow start in the goal for Syracuse, and that could really kill him if it comes down to just one hot and one cold goalie.
I think you're right. We talked before, it might be whoever has the ball in the last possession might be the one that wins, or a hot goaltender.
Syracuse again gets the faceoff. Bob, I think they're 5-0 in faceoffs.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Virginia's had a real problem getting faceoffs this year, and this will wear them down after a while.
Into Vanderpool, can't get it, triple teamed inside. Here comes the Virginia Cavaliers, Drew Melchione. Melchione, another one of those guys who can light up the goal.
And Drew Melchione's dad was one of the original, played for the Nets. Bill Melchione over here, he's from Garden City. He played with Dave DeBuscher's son in high school.
Great ball came in on the gamble by the defense of Syracuse. They gambled with Josh Rule, who came out and really got them into a fast break situation, but Virginia could not capitalize. Sloppy clearing, as Bob mentioned, gives the ball right back to Virginia. McKnight will control the ball behind. Glatzel playing defense. Up top, Jalbert. Boy, he had an open net. He goes far pipe, and that's where Gebhardt was parked.
Right, good save by Gebhardt. Good reaction save.
Gebhardt really filled up that far side. Being a left-handed goalie, his body was moved to that side, and he blocked it. Ball now controlled by Syracuse. They're down by 2. 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
A lot of little things, too. I talked to John Desker. He said they had beautiful weather up in Syracuse, even as the weather was bad here. Good save by Sanderson there.
Leone coming in. I'm not sure it didn't hit the pipe, but he's certainly been about as good as he gets early in this game. Now, what I mean by that is there aren't any four-star goalies. There are good goalies, solid goalies, and at times great goalies. And Sanderson can be very sensational. He won't control a game, but he has been a very solid goalie. And when he's good, this team will be hard to beat for Virginia. Behind the goal is Rada Ball. One of those swing players attack end midfield. This is Michael Leahy. Trying to get a little bit of move on Matt Pioni. Virginia moving the ball around. Historically, Syracuse has a gambling style on defense. They'll try to create some pressure, but maybe not back up. Right there was another play that the defenseman came out and offered too much room, and that's where it started. Ball goes by the goalie. It was Marshall Abrams who started with the slide, gave Virginia the opening. 4-1 the score. Gebhardt having a tough time so far. He hasn't saved much down there. It's 4-1 in favor of the Virginia Cavaliers. Even though Syracuse has gotten 6 straight faceoffs, they have not gotten quality shots, or the ones at least they have gotten on Sanderson, he's made the saves.
Well, you got to say Casey Powell's been pretty quiet. I think that Sanderson made one good save on a Casey Powell shot, but you haven't seen him take control of the game yet.
Alexander gives the ball back to his brother Ryan Powell. Ryan Powell, very competent. In most cases, you'd say an excellent attackman, but he's not his brother. No slam on him. There is the pass into Casey. He couldn't do it, but picked off in front of Casey Powell by Brian Soliday. Soliday came in and just stole it from Casey Powell.
You know, there was a one-handed. I think he grabbed it one-handed and just threw it by Sanderson, and Sanderson was kind of surprised that he caught the ball.
If you watch the play, everybody was focused on Casey Powell because that's where the play was intended to go.
Now here it comes. This Powell cuts it in front, but Soliday catches it one-handed, left-handed, and puts it a really fine play by Brian Soliday. Brian played, again, if you see it, this is Ryan Powell with the ball. He'll look in front. He sees a cutter. It's not to his brother. It ends up with Soliday. Soliday, a great player, played on the Bethpage team that won the state championship with A.J. Haugen, who's a great player down at Johns Hopkins right now.
4-2 the score now. Soliday brings it back. Soliday literally put his left hand up and took the ball out of Casey Powell's hand. It was going to Casey. He stole it, and maybe the focus of goalie Sanderson was on that pass to Powell, but a nice move, a very sensational move to give him the second goal of the game.
Very athletic. I mean, they catch it one-handed and throw it in a quick stick. I'm sure it did startle the goalie. I would startle me, I'll tell you.
Now behind that? Absolutely. Jamie Leachman behind the goal, number 5. Ball's down, a little bit slick out there. Of course, very hot, beautiful. Watch this shot, right hip high by Radeball. So far, Gebhardt not having an average game even for him. It's 5-2, and what do if he doesn't come up? Do you go to the bench, Syracuse?
He's got Mulligan, who's a very good goaltender. Kid from Farmingdale, who was a great goaltender. But watch this, though. Gebhardt actually guesses wrong. The ball will come out to Radeball. Now watch. If you saw it very closely, Gebhardt actually was starting to move to his right, and the ball went left. Here we go. It's going to be a good feed. Radeball gets the ball. Now watch. He actually moved to his right, and the ball went to his left. Gebhardt's starting to guess, and that can be very dangerous for a goaltender. You got to react a little bit more than that.
Sideline with Simmons and Desko. A little bit concerned. Actually, it was Donahue over there next to Coach Simmons. 5-2 the score in favor of Virginia. They haven't had too many that haven't gone in. Dom Starsia has a pretty good plan going. Of course, it all starts with a solid defense of Curtis right here against Casey Powell.
And he knows, Starsia's screaming because he knows a 5-2 lead against Syracuse is nothing. They can explode quickly. 5 goals rather, on 10 shots for Virginia, shooting 50%. Not bad. I think that's the, Casey Powell will be a factor, Bob, but you don't want, obviously, the game to get out of hand. Exactly.
He's not going to score 12 goals for you, so you got to get him in the game early.
And, I mean, heat's going to be a factor. These guys are going to get run down a bit in the fourth quarter, so you're right. You don't want to be so far. You can't put yourself in such a big hole you can't climb out.
Tucker Radeball puts it right in the stick of Gebhardt. That's got to feel good for Jason. Jason pulls that one down.
My question is, why did Radeball shoot the ball? Radeball then was still just a little bit too anxious. Got a man all over him, took a fairly weak shot high to goalie stick side.
That's 3 saves for Gebhardt.
You got to remember, too, the last time they met, Syracuse trailed most of the game. Came back and tied it up in the last few seconds of the game and won in overtime. 18-17?
It was 18-17.
18-17.
Saw Roy Simmons a moment ago. The game before, against head-to-head these two teams, Syracuse scored
22 goals. It was like 22-20 or something like that. It was phenomenal.
Radeball brings the ball out front. Virginia controls now. This is Jalbert who, look at that, over the front. That face dodge move of his is a little bit risky, but pretty effective from him. He's a very skilled player. Fast break. Jeff Lowe starts it backside. Ryan Powell, and look at Sanderson.
Good save by Sanderson, right?
He didn't want to put it back in play.
Oh, why did they give it back? It's a shot never under control.
Well, Sanderson was smart. He didn't put it back in play because if he puts it back in play and they get it, he's in big trouble.
My question is, Lee, that was a shot. He never had control of it. I don't understand why they would give it to him.
In other words, he made a block, though. He blocked the ball, and then the ball goes to his feet, and then it comes out. Now it's a loose ball.
I would have given it to the goalie just on effort, Lee.
Well, of course you would. You're a goalie. Ball
What
going
the
far
heck was
side.
that?
Holy smokes.
What's
Matt
he doing?
Kataya. Oh, time was almost out.
I see.
3 seconds left. Come on, let's get into the game, Bob and Leaf. Here we go. 3 seconds were left. He tried to get it to Kataya. Could not do it. Virginia leads 5-2, and they are looking good on the offensive end. They have that 3-goal lead going into the second quarter. We're back at Hofstra. It is a 5-2 game in favor of the UVA team, and we want to remind you that today's NCAA playoff action is brought to you by STX, performance-driven, precision-crafted. By Hofstra University, we teach success. By A.G. Edwards, serving the investment community since 1888 and probably 1887, and probably a client of Barry Landers.
Yes.
And also Manhattan East Suites Hotels, and by Cablevision. Carl Reuter on the sideline.
You know, Lee, 2 of the hotbed areas in college lacrosse and, of course, of high school lacrosse, right here on Long Island, and, of course, down in the Washington, Maryland, Virginia area. Well, when you look at this game, there are 13 players from these 2 teams that are from Long Island. In fact, 8 on this Syracuse, 8 on the Syracuse team, and all told on the Virginia team, 16 players from either Maryland or Virginia. So I guess some home cooking for the Virginia sidelines there for the Cavaliers. 16, the 40-man roster, homegrown, Maryland, Virginia area. Back upstairs.
All right, Carl, down there on what is turned out to be a beautiful afternoon. The AstroTurf, a perfect surface for this speedy offensive duo. You've got Syracuse against Virginia. 3 goals separate them right now. We're only on a 28-goal pace right now, so they have yet to get heated up. And they've switched ends now in the orange jerseys, of course. UVA will bring the ball in with their few face-off wins. Malcolm gets it behind the goal to Tucker Radeball. Radeball trying to beat the defensive Rule. Any relation there, Bob?
No, R-U-H-L-E. Vern Rule, a baseball player, but not Rule, the lacrosse player.
Rule has great size, matches up. Big shot from up top. Look at that velocity. Tim Burns just let it go. Sophomore out of Baldwin, New York.
You know, I'm going to tell Tim Burns, bounce the ball, get the ball on cage and bounce it. It was a good overhand shot, but get the ball on cage and shoot low against a goaltender.
Jay Jalbert, a little bit of trouble with his footing, as did Casey Powell in this end. So turf could be a little bit slick, just with perspiration, because I tell you, there's no rain. It's just hot. That's all.
Well, I remember one of the teams ordered an entire tub of ice a little while ago to have by the on the field so to cool the players off.
Drew McKnight brings the ball around, gets hammered by the defense. That time it was Glatzel.
Well, held the ball just a little bit too long, and that's why he got hammered. And he should have gotten hammered. If you're a coach, a defensive coach, that's what you want.
Ryan Powell gets it in, gets the ball checked out. Glatzel will have to watch. You know, he just made that check. He's a freshman from Boys Latin. Did not start this season as a starter. Has worked himself into the lineup. An excellent player out of Maryland who's being counted on by Roy Simmons. Ball back to UVA. Early second quarter, up by 3. McKnight up top. McKnight will have a one-on-one opportunity here. No, that's not McKnight. That's Holcomb. But it's backed up by Ray. The ball stays with Virginia. Tucker Radeball brings the ball in. Rule plays defense and a nice block, but it goes dribbling in. Gebhardt got his body on it, but that baby just trickled in to make it a 6-2 game.
And the one thing I like what Gebhardt did, he went down to his knees. He goes down to his knees. He takes away his chance, mobility to move. He stood up straight. Now watch this. Tucker Radeball comes around, real tough. Now Gebhardt, all he's going to do is stand up and keep his good position. That's the second goal of the day. On a good hard face dodge, coming around, shooting lefty. Good bounce shot, though. That's what I love. Good bounce shots.
Radeball on the sideline.
Great name in lacrosse, Radeball. A lot of people have played lacrosse from Maryland. Great family tradition.
No question about it. Sean Radeball, Dan Radeball.
Is there a Bob Radeball? No?
Can't remember. I'm trying to think back to my era.
I know.
I can't remember back then.
They were then. I know that, like, fathers.
Doug Radeball back in the 70s, right? He played
right.
his job with Maryland. Yes.
But no Bob Radeball. That's too bad.
Well, can you blame him? Here goes the Virginia team. Drew Melchione gives it up to David Wren. David Wren started off this game with 2 straight goals. Let's see what we can get here. Up top, he rips another shot.
Never a check on his stick. I'll tell you, I'm Roy Simmons. I got to call timeout now to get these guys organized. That's his 4th goal of the day. All the same move. A power forward, the equivalent of power forward in basketball. Just drove right by his man and scores a goal.
So Virginia coming in with the opinion they have to outscore Syracuse. Is doing just that.
Now watch this. Good hard movement, and he never plays good defense on him. He's good hard, high bounce, high shot off the Gebhardt stick side. We see it again. Right hand shot. Good high shot to the right side. He's powering by him. They've got to double or back up.
Gebhardt really fighting this one today with a bad start. They've scored 2 goals in 28 seconds to give them a 5-goal lead. They need some possession. Syracuse does. Casey Powell won't mean anything if he doesn't carry the ball.
Exactly. And the other thing, they're not backing up. They're not giving. You see a good defense like Princeton play.
Big shot out front by Jamie Leachman. And Gebhardt gets comfortable with that one. Outlets to his Syracuse teammates. And here they go. Glisker gives the ball up to Kataya. I would be surprised if they start putting Casey Powell on the midfield, Bob, and try to get him some transition opportunities.
Exactly, I think so. The only thing they got to worry about a little bit, burning them out. Right.
That's a hot one. 5-goal lead for Virginia. A little bit of a surprise that Virginia is scoring that many, but they're not that far over what we expected.
Exactly.
The big surprise is only 2 goals for Syracuse. The defense of Virginia doing a great job.
And Sanderson's come up like 3 times. We talked about being a hot goalie.
Well, I'll tell you, he's a tough kid. His father is Bill Geary, plays goalie in the indoor leagues. He's been born and bred to play the D in the goal. Backdoor shot by McKnight, and Jason Gebhardt makes the finest save of the day for him. Gebhardt makes 2 in a row, and that was his best.
Excellent save. You know what I like? He followed the ball the whole way. He had good position. The shooter has got to shoot for corners then, because he's so close to the goalie, he's going to hit him if he just shoots straight ahead, and that's what happened there.
So the fragile emotions of these crazy goalies, right, Bob? He had a rocky start, but now he's feeling great. He's made 2 great saves. He's getting comfortable. If you're a Syracuse fan, all you need is to get some shots on goal from your big guy.
You got to score a goal right here. Get some momentum.
I just watched Casey Powell wave off the ball. He pointed to get to the midfield, said get it up to the midfield, but of course now he has it. Curtis going on him. Curtis, they double team. He gets off to his brother, and that was it. They double teamed Casey, left Ryan open, and Casey Powell immediately recognized it, got it to him.
And here's the question. Why do you double a guy behind the goal? He can't score. Don't double Casey Powell unless he's got a chance of scoring. He didn't then.
Guess what Bob Rule does most of his time, folks? He's a coach. It's a 7-3 game. 4-goal lead.
Now watch this. Powell's got the ball. Watch this. They double quick, double too fast. He gets it to his brother, who's wide open, comes around, takes a good shot, and scores. Why double behind the goal when you don't have a chance of scoring?
Let's forget the double for a minute. This is a great shot by Ryan. Do you see how he dropped his stick? He got Sanderson going low, and then he came up over the top of him.
Most of the time, good shooters will fake high, get the goalie to go up, and then shoot low, where a goalie doesn't have a stick. But this time he faked low, got the goalie to go down, and shot high. Opposite what you usually teach, but effective.
Syracuse, who dominated faceoffs early, lose their 2nd in a row, at least here, to Virginia. Their 4th in a row. So domination early by Syracuse, and 4 in a row for Virginia on the faceoff department. It's a 7-3 score, 2nd quarter action. Lee Felsmo, Bob Rule, Carl Reuters on the sideline. This is a quarterfinal game. The winner here advances to Rutgers for one of the most exciting weekends in sport. It's the championship weekend in lacrosse. Saturday will be the semis, and Monday the finals. Sunday the finals for Division III, and 2, I believe, same day. Here goes Virginia working in on the sideline, trying to get that good shot up top. Double team comes in and gives him problems. So the double team on Henry Oki gives up the ball.
What you do then really, Leaf, is you pull the ball out. You got a double team, you have no shot, no clear pass, just run away from the goal and set yourself up again. That time you tried to force the ball and made a bad pass.
When you take a look at the schedule of these 2 teams, one of the problems with Syracuse is they start early with a couple big games like Princeton, and then they go up to the upstate New York stuff and play a few Ivy teams or Rutgers, or of course they got beat by Rutgers, but their season is not as challenging as Virginia's, where they have to fight to survive in the ACC. They play Maryland, they play Duke, they play Carolina. Very tough schedule for Virginia.
And then you have that ACC tournament right at the end. I call it being tournament hardened. I mean, you get used to playing big games day after day.
This is Ryan Powell getting it way out front to Keone. Bounce shot, easy save by Sanderson. He really kind of showed the high to low shot, and Sanderson had no problem measuring it. I don't know what that was. Clearing pass, trying to get it to a player, couldn't do it. Gebhardt feeling very good out of the goal. Now he picks up loose, no goalie. And a great save by Gebhardt. Gebhardt saved that 5 yards outside of the goal.
And I think he was another good save.
Another one.
Hot now.
Gebhardt has made the most sensational save of the tournament by far. He started off
in a row.
Oh, he was cold to start this game, but Bob, those were exceptional saves.
And you know what he's doing? He's keeping Syracuse in the game. There's 3 goals right there. You're talking 10-3, not 7-3. He's keeping in the ball game right now.
Mark that on your VCR. If Syracuse comes back to win, that could be the point where this game turned around.
Interesting, too. All the guys out there who are goaltenders and players, listen to the goalie communicate with his team. Listen closely, a lot of talk. It's the goalie speaking.
Casey Powell rolls in, beats Ryan Curtis, and then the low shot saved by Sanderson.
He actually telegraphed it. He dropped the head of his stick, and if you're goalie, that's what you're looking for, to go low.
Jalbert tried to get the shot off, but checked behind by Glatzel. The kid from Boys Latin. So Glatzel, coming out of Boys Latin, not starting the beginning of the year, has stepped up to a pretty high level of play. He's playing against Virginia, Jalbert, and Radeball and the others.
So if you can listen closely, listen to the talk of the defense. That's what you do if you're playing good defense. You're helping each other out by talking, telling where the ball is. Whoa! I'll tell you, they're not calling anything here.
Syracuse trying to get the shot off. The left-handed shot by Ryan, or who was that? No, it wasn't Powell. Number 8 in there, Kataya, I guess. Yeah, very small number, very small vertical number. Sorry, folks.
We're all getting old.
I'm not blind. I'm just a half a mile away. That's all.
too.
Alcione falls down with a push. Timeout called by Virginia. They lead by 4 with 7:27 left in the second quarter. We're going to leave you for a moment, but come back with this great quarterfinal action. Syracuse, the higher seed, down by 4. Hey, the Hobart Lacrosse Camp. You want to be a part of this? I want you to call these numbers, 315-781-3565, or here's an 800 number, 941-6289. Boys ages 11 to 18. There's 2 sessions, and of course, July 5 to 9, July 19th to 23rd are the dates. You've got to be a part of this. Tremendous camp action, all the instruction and fun your kids and lacrosse players would ever need. It's all happening here. Lee Fell's going with Bob Rule and Carl Reuter. This is about as good as it gets. Dom Starsia, 6th season at Virginia, came from Brown. He's been a winner, a very high winning percentage, already established as one of the highest winning percentages ever in the ACC. His offense is really on all cylinders, and the defense is doing well too.
Now watch Casey Powell. He comes out of a dodge. He drops his stick. Really not a great shot for anybody maybe but Casey Powell. When he dropped the stick, Sanderson immediately dropped his and played for the low shot. That's what happened there. But he's trying to force the ball a little bit to get Syracuse back on the board.
I think most players, all that stuff's true. Casey Powell, nobody's got to talk about how to shoot to him. Nobody's got to talk about when's the right time to shoot, because he's proven everybody wrong.
Exactly.
He scored when you don't expect it. He's taken over games when you thought he couldn't.
That's what makes him such a powerful presence on the field. When you're playing, you're trying to defense him, you got to constantly think of where is Casey Powell on the field. It's almost like having 2 guys on the field for 1.
Rated ball from Wren. This is Wren. Looks like after the timeout, they try to settle things down a little bit. Virginia getting a little bit more patient with their offense. That bounce by Leahy well in front of the goal, not even close to being a challenge.
And I'll go back to what I talk about in games, hot days. It's much easier to play offense than defense on a hot day. It's much more tiring to be a defensive player when it's 90 degrees on an offensive player, because you know what you're going to be doing, and the ball travels so fast it causes all kinds of slides and all kinds of things going on.
Ball couldn't get the ball loose. The defensive check took it right out. That was Josh Rule. Back to Gebhardt. We'll remind you that the biggest dramatic moments of the game have been provided by Gebhardt, who started off slow, and he has made 2 just highlight reel saves in the last 4 minutes. Syracuse getting a low shot on Sanderson, making it easy for him to make the save.
Sanderson, they're shooting low by going low with his stick, and they're telegraphing, and Sanderson's bringing his stick right down. He's a veteran. He knows what's happening when a guy drops his stick.
Well, Jeff Lowe took the shot. Maybe that answers your question.
I like that.
Lowe gives the ball to Ryan Powell, who works behind the goal in the defense of Penn Leachman. Leachman just huge. 6'5", 215 out of Bethesda. Fresh legs on the field for Syracuse. Ball way out front now. John Matthews trying to find Casey Powell. Well, there he is. Powell having a tough time getting footing. I don't know if they've made a bad decision on cleats or not.
Well, I noticed that the Syracuse guys all wear different cleats anyway.
Powell finds out in front his teammate, number 48, Ryan Soliday. He's already scored 1. This will be his second goal of the game. And Powell, he's got all the tools. One of those tools is great vision.
I was going to say, you know what kind of play that is? I call that a bing bing. He gets the ball, he sees a little opening, bang, he gets in there. Watch Powell move. People have got to respect the double, bing bang. Gets a quick pass to Soliday. Soliday just puts it in the corner and scores. We see it again. Now watch him. Watch how he barely looks, bang. Gets to the Soliday. Soliday beats him before Sanders has a chance to react. Great play. That's how you do it when you feed the crease.
Jason Denneker, a junior out of East Meadow, gets that face-off. Syracuse has been very, very successful in the face-off department. Gebhardt gets it back to the midfield. Offense moving on. Burns gets it behind, and now Ryan Powell driving against Leachman. What a task that is.
That is tough right there. That's like wrestling. If anybody's ever wrestled, you and a defenseman are going at it. It's very, very physically wearing.
Vanderpool comes in, looks for help. Casey Powell standing behind saying, get it out front, get it out front. Curtis still on Casey Powell. It's almost like Casey wants to have enough to win the game. Like he's saying, okay, I'll score a couple, I'll give a couple assists, but I'm going to save my hat trick for the fourth quarter.
And the great athletes know how to pace themselves also. That's just what he's doing.
It's a very, very hot day. Syracuse not known as a hot weather school.
First man up for Syracuse.
Wait a minute, big play here, Bob. It's Sanderson. The penalty is on him. He came out to make the hit. 2 mistakes. 1, he comes out too far.
And
2, he commits a
penalty.
penalty. And 3, folks, he's in the box. It'll be an extra man play for Syracuse and a fresh goalie. Back on the Hofstra turf. This is an interesting play because the goalie is fresh. Penalty is on Sanderson, the goalie, and Syracuse will get to shoot on a brand new goalie.
And that could take long. Good play, not much he could do, but it was a good play.
Well, they got it in the hands of their big guy, Casey Powell, who was silent for the last 2 moments. He scored 1 and he assisted on the last 2 goals. That's a 7-5 game.
And, we talk about momentum shifting. Virginia's won the last couple of face-offs. After Syracuse kind of won them, all of a sudden momentum is starting to shift into their favor. Now watch this ball movement. Ryan Powell takes it, he looks to the corner. They got to cut that off. And who scored the goal? Casey Powell scores the goal. Quick. It's Ben O'Neill, okay, from Charlottesville, Virginia, was the goalie who came into play.
O'Neill not listed properly on the roster here.
Number 1.
Oh, it is Ben O'Neill, got it. 7-5, that score by Casey Powell with 4 minutes left in the second quarter gives his team a nice little run of 3 goals. It was Ryan Powell, then Soliday from Casey, and then Casey scores. So Casey Powell has 2 assists and 1 goal in the last 3 scores. He's really leading the charge and not spending a lot of energy doing it.
That's exactly. He's saying, I don't want the ball at certain times because he knows he's not going to handle that defensively at that moment. And yet still 2 assists and a goal. Last 2 goals, he's been intimately involved in each one.
So Ben O'Neill out of Charlottesville. We're not looking at him at the moment on the sideline. That's Chris Sanderson, who got the penalty, came way out of the goal to make a play, and then got a little too aggressive and got the push call. So Sanderson, who has been very strong, gave him the early lead with his great play. A little bit of a slip up there.
Well, it's only 1 goal, but what's interesting to me is that we've had a couple of muggings out here, and they called anything at all, and then they call a push on the goaltender.
10 saves for Sanderson on the day.
Played very well, though.
Talk about him. He's got a big Indian tattoo on his shoulder. This kid's a tough kid. You see him in the locker room. He's ready to play. He's not scared of anything. He is here, and on certain days, he can definitely be as good as anybody.
And he's on the Canadian national team. Okay, he's been picked as one of the goalies on the Canadian national team to play in the World Game. So
he's not one of the goalies. He is the
goalie. Okay, he's the goalie.
He is the guy they are putting their hopes on to be tough in the defensive end of the field. So you will see him at the World Games in July.
I go back there. When I actually got married, I was on the team in 1974 in Australia, and I actually on my honeymoon went out there in 1990 to Australia, and now we're going to go back down and see some friends during the World Games. So it'll be a great experience.
Well, don't go back to Australia during the World Games. They're all going to be here.
Now, we also have the Hall of Fame inductions during that weekend, which will be a great weekend.
Australia with a sensational 94 World Competition. They are really the second best team off that competition to the United States.
I think what hurts those teams is you got to play every day, and they don't play every day, and that hurts them when they play teams like the United States.
Vanderpool for Syracuse looking to get a good shot. They're down by 2. They've crawled back to make this a close game. They were down moments ago by 5. And they are coming back. Steal in front. Timmy Burns gets it and brings it back. Good hustle by Burns. Kataya starts behind. Burns comes back to get the ball, and he's stripped at the last minute by Davies.
I like that was a nice little give and go.
Now here's a fast break started by Baruch. McKnight gets it down low. Right up ball, bounces it in.
You saw Leaf there, a classic fast break. That's what they want to do at Virginia. They come down, they set up the rotation, force the 3 defensemen to move, give it to that lower attackman, and that was Radabov gets his 3rd goal of the day. End-to-end action. This is a little mistake by Vanderpool. He should have gone for the ball. Got a fast break. That means 4 guys on 3. Defense sets up in a triangle. They throw it over to the up attackman, throw it to the guy, to Radabov, runs through the check, which is what he should do, and scores a nice goal and a bounce shot. A great play.
Tucker Radabov, a tremendous shooter, and he's had his chances today. 8-5. That one answers a 3-goal run for Syracuse, gives him that 3-goal cushion.
And you know what's great? I love a guy who shoots overhand and bounces the ball, and that's what Radabov does. He's got that classic style. Doesn't give the goalie much chance to move.
Syracuse pressuring. That's Matt Alexander. Sanderson easily makes that save. He's looked very comfortable. Nothing that sensational, but he's been making all the saves. Jason Gebhardt's had to stand on his head to make the saves he needs. He's made like Hall of Fame saves and has been pressed to do so.
You were talking about great goalies. What makes a great goalie to me, Leaf, is you always know the guy's going to play good. When he has to be excellent or great, he'll be great. The problem with the goalies in college now is a lot of them, they're so inconsistent. Gebhardt starts off slow, then has a couple great saves. Who's going to show up? That's the problem that a lot of coaches face right now.
Product of a lot of things, and not the least of which is a lot of great shooters and about 6 guys on the field that can pin the corner at 100 miles an hour.
That's right.
And that is tough for anybody, any athlete. Back door to Jalbert, and he just didn't get a good pass.
Now, little thing, Jalbert went to the goal instead of to the ball leg. He was drifted towards the goal. If he'd gone to the ball, caught it, turned and shot, he gets himself a goal.
Jalbert gets crossed up. His team leads by 3. Only 1:52, a little less than 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
It's been a nice clean half in terms of not many penalties, balls going up and down the field. There's only 1 penalty against Virginia. You saw how tough Syracuse was. They scored in about 10 seconds.
Up here at Hofstra University, a hotbed for lacrosse.
Just a wonderful stadium, too, to watch the game right now. Hofstra's done a great job of creating this atmosphere now for lacrosse and football.
Big shot again at the feet of Sanderson. He's making those saves look very easy.
They're not great shots. They're shooting from about 10 yards out. Sometimes they're telegraphing this. He's a veteran. He knows what to look for.
David Jenkins comes down for Virginia. He's getting pushed out by the defense of Syracuse and Cordisco.
Now Virginia, I might call a timeout, Leaf, when it gets about 30 seconds to go. Set up some sort of play, try to draw a foul, or score a goal.
And right on cue, Virginia takes the timeout.
A little ahead of what I would have done it, but nevertheless.
Dom Stargio wants to get his team on the same page for that last 103. They want to do a very concerted team effort here to keep possession, get one shot. Hopefully they get the goal. And of course, the standard philosophy is, we may or may not score, but one thing that won't happen is that Casey Powell and company will not score.
Exactly. What you don't want to do is give up a goal here more than score a goal, because you don't want momentum going into the period. We go back to the other quarterfinal game, we talked about Princeton and Duke. What happened in that game was Princeton was able to score 2 quick goals at the end and regain momentum. This is what Virginia does not want to happen with Syracuse. So I would think they'd hold it for as long as they could, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, then drive to the goal, either draw a foul or score a goal to get a good shot.
Dom Stargio took over for Ace Adams down at the UVA program.
Ace, what a wonderful man. I think that he was the guy who never lost a game as a player. He never lost in high school, never lost in college. It must have got boring after a while.
I can't confirm that.
I think he was. I think I remember reading about that when he got in the Hall of Fame.
But this man, Dom Stargio, has had, as I mentioned, he has already got himself in the record books as one of the highest winning percentages in ACC history. Great track record. He's had trouble beating this team in white in the playoffs.
A lot of people have. They're going for a record now. One of the big records is I think Syracuse has made it to the Final Four 17 straight years. That's the record he's battling right here.
Syracuse knows how to play it to another level in the playoffs. You see the time winding down. You'll see them be very patient, try to get their shot, and get a 4-goal lead to take into the halftime. And our halftime will have stats highlights for you. We're going to peel Carl Reuter off the turf there. He's melted a little bit, but he's actually holding pretty good down there. He's doing great. David Wren, big shot. He's a good one to give the shot to. He started off this game with 2 straight goals.
Nice play, too. He just missed the corner.
And he added 2 more after that. He's got 4 total. Jalbert slipping again. I wonder about the cleat selection. We've seen a lot of guys fall and bob at halftime. I wonder if guys like Casey Powell might go to a deeper cleat.
I think so, because I think they are using like almost a sneaker.
And close to the shot in the goal. Did it count or not? It was right on the time. Right as the buzzer went off. It counts. Michael Leahy gives Virginia a 4-goal lead. That is not, I'm sure, exactly how Dom Stargio had it picked, but that is perfect for Virginia.
You know something, you could diagram it better. You want to score with a second to go. You keep that momentum going in the second half because you know Syracuse is going to get their goals.
It could have been called either way. It was so close, but a 9-5. Take a look at the score.
Watch this. We'll look at the time. Now look how much you can do with 1 second to go. He gets the ball. He takes a shot. Ball was in the air. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit early, but tough to call in those seconds. Carl's down on the field with Coach Roy Simmons.
Roy Simmons Jr. at my side. Coach, that one really has to hurt with no time on the clock.
I think the clock had run out, but you can't argue that point now. We haven't had a break all day, and they're not going to get it to it now. You know, it did hurt.
How much does the club have to raise its level of play in this second half now to come back from this four-goal deficit?
Well, I tell the kids it's like a warm bath. You know, you don't jump in and then be frightened by being too hot or too cold. They're not making any calls out here, and I tell my kids if they're not going to make any calls and just step up the physicalness of the game, we got to hit a little harder, we got to shoot a little smarter. This is a very dead surface, and it's not a shooter's surface. We got to hit this goalie up high. He's done very well in the low shots, and that's what we've been doing, and we shouldn't be doing that. So we got to step up our shot selection second half and get to Sanderson as we have in the past.
All right, Coach, best of luck. Thanks for coming by. That's Roy Simmons Jr. You see, he's holding his composure. Now, can his team hold its composure and get back in the second half? We're back with more from Hofstra Stadium right after this timeout. Halftime of quarterfinal action. Right now, Virginia on top of Syracuse by the score of 9-5. And just moments ago, my halftime guest was honored here at Hofstra Stadium. Presentation made to the honorable judge, Ken Malloy, for his outstanding and long service to the game of lacrosse. A three-time All-American at Syracuse University. And Mr. Malloy, what was that feeling like to be honored by a game that you have pretty much put your heart into?
Well, I think the important part of honoring anyone in this game is to create more of the tradition, which is growing and growing and growing, and that's what pleases me.
A lot of people might not know that Judge Malloy was instrumental in getting Jim Brown into Syracuse University, and we're talking about Jim Brown, the Cleveland Browns running back, who many think is the greatest lacrosse player of all time.
Well, he established that in the North-South game, and the Southern people would be the first to agree with that.
What about your alma mater right now? Taking it on the chin just a bit, but I'm sure Roy Simmons Jr. can get the troops back in it.
Don't sell them short. Syracuse is always great for coming back, and they have a great tradition.
Ken Malloy, how has the game changed since you were the three-time All-American at Syracuse?
The game's changed by the zone of accuracy of the sticks. When I played, you would figure 2.5 to 3 feet. Now it's 6 inches. And of course, the surface, especially in the spring, the mud and even ice at times slowed the game down. This is a beautiful game. It's fast, it's quick, great athletes, and I'm glad to see the people enjoying it to such an extent.
Well, at least they were out here to see you honored today for your long, outstanding service to the game of lacrosse. Thanks very much, Ken Malloy.
My pleasure. Always good seeing you, Carl.
Okay, and we're back with more right after this. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of goals, and I think Syracuse has seen a few goals that they wouldn't like to see on that side of the scoreboard for Virginia.
Well, let's look at what happened. Gebhardt's been hot and cold. In the beginning of the game, he wasn't stopping the ball. Then he made 3 or 4 sensational saves. The score right now could be 3 or 4 goals to Virginia's even more advantage right now. But don't count Syracuse out. They're so explosive that they could very well come back and score 4 goals in the first 2 minutes of the half to tie the game up. So they're a tough team. Don't count them out.
All right, let's take a look at the halftime numbers on the board. It is 9-5 in favor of Virginia. What's outstanding to you, Bob Rule?
Okay, if I look right there, face-offs won, where Syracuse won 10-5, but didn't take advantage of it. Virginia's being done everything but shots. Virginia's shots have simply been more accurate. They've been on cage more, and that's resulted in more goals.
All right, it was a 7-3 goal, and then all of a sudden it was 8-5. We had seconds left in the first half, and bang, Virginia puts one in with no time left.
This could come into haunt them because really the ball is going to go through the plane of the goal before the period ends, and it clearly appears that the ball was not by the goalie. That this goal might come back to haunt them. Great play by Virginia, though, to let that time go down and then try a scoring play with 10 seconds to go. A terrific play.
17 years in a row that the Syracuse Orangemen have been in the Final Four. Speaking of 4, that's what they need to come back. They're down 9-5 at the break.
Back at Hofstra, the third quarter face-off underway for third quarter action. 9-5 the score. Virginia with that 4-goal lead. And the 9th goal came as the time expired at the end of the second quarter. Roy Simmons saying maybe not legal. Hard to tell. Fast shot coming at the last moment. Casey Powell starts the third quarter by immediately going to the goal. Sanderson starts back in the goal, as you would imagine. He had a very nice first half. Gebhardt for Syracuse is back in the goal, and he came on like gangbusters. John Desco and Roy Simmons, our Carl Reuter right behind him.
What I like about that, too, is watch Sanderson did not give the far pipe up. I mean, didn't give the short side up then. Forced Casey Powell to shoot to the far pipe, and he was wide.
Bob Roll almost falling over with the caution.
I've run up 4 flights of stairs 4 times today.
Oh, Bob, you forgot your jacket. Would you go back and get
Yeah.
Syracuse now pushing the ball out front. They're looking to get McIntyre open. McIntyre working against Doug Davies. Oh, tried to find Vanderpool, and he's saying, where were you? Where were you?
You know,
Look at the ball.
Vanderpool-
Step up.
It really looked like Vanderpool just wasn't ready for the pass. It wasn't a great pass, and he made the right play. If you get the long stick on you, what you want to do is give it to someone with a short stick.
And Vanderpool was that man. So McIntyre.
Again, people not familiar with the game, the defensive players use a longer shaft because it's easy to check with. So you want to avoid that if you can, if you're playing offense.
4-goal lead for Virginia. They've really, the surprise here again is 9 goals for Virginia. We thought each team would be around that. The big surprise is that the defense for Syracuse, or the defense for Virginia rather, has been really holding down the great offensive stars of Syracuse. Shot in close, and Virginia gets another one. This time, Drew Malchione, the senior from Garden City, makes the local crowd happy. He has a few fans here, I'm sure.
Drew Malchione, what a nice little give and go. Got the ball behind, cut behind this man, caught the ball, and there's not much Gebhardt could do against that shot. But this is an example, 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. Now watch this, little give and go, bang, shoots high to the right side against Gebhardt, which is a good shot. The problem that Syracuse faces is funny, it's that momentum. There it is, there's the goal. That momentum that they don't have because they gave up that goal with a second to go. Little things like that will come back to haunt them.
20th goal of the season, and Virginia has scored first in each quarter so far, Bob.
Yeah.
They get this face-off as they drive the ball down. Jason Hard loses the ball, and here comes Syracuse, picked up. Joe Caglia picks it up and gives it off to the wing. This is Jeff Lowe trying to get open. Virginia not letting Syracuse get very comfortable in the offensive end of the field. They're playing pretty toe-to-toe defense.
Pretty aggressive defense. You can see right now he's out beyond the box playing Ryan Powell, so they never get a chance to get their offense to flow.
Casey has a nice pick there, and it was Casey Powell's pick for brother Ryan that set him free.
Let's give Casey Powell a half an assist on that one. Nice play, but where was the backup? I didn't see where Virginia backed up on that when the man got picked off.
Well, Leachman is over there just going crazy with the referee saying it was a moving pick. Let's take a look.
Now watch this. He comes around. Let's see if he does set a moving pick. I don't think it was a moving pick. Right there, he shoots a good low bounce shot. Nobody picked up on it.
Well, Casey stepped out a little bit, but good play for the Powell brothers. And they answer Malchione's goal, now back to a 4-goal margin for Virginia. Again, they control the face-offs.
And the problem is, though, Syracuse needs a spurt. They can't trade goals now or they lose.
They have to have a run. If they're going to get back into it at some point, they'll have to have a 4-goal run just a time.
44.
Or a 4-goal advantage, obviously, at some point. Virginia driving in, Tucker Rada ball. J.J. Albert behind the goal. That redirected shot beats Gebhardt. It's David Baruch.
David Baruch, not a great shot, although it had some movement on it by throwing the ball in front. But Gebhardt, it's all or nothing. He's making sensational saves, or not making the saves I really think he should make, and that was one he should make. Now watch this. Tucker Radabah throws to the middle of the field. He's about 15 yards out. Gebhardt never reacted well to the ball. Didn't get his stick down.
You think maybe he doesn't like that end of the field? Don't
I don't know.
First quarter, he didn't have a very good quarter down there. Second quarter, when they switched, he was very, very good. Jason Deneker, number 34 for Syracuse, facing off now with Jason Hard. Virginia.
But Virginia's really controlling face-offs now. They're doing everything right.
Malchione, he's got the corner. Beautiful shot by Malchione in the corner. He's got 2 of the 3 goals to start this half off. And 12-6, Virginia very comfortably in front.
We're having a goalie change. Okay, Gebhardt is out. Let's see, Rob Mulligan. Okay, Rob Mulligan, a Farmingdale product, is coming in. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Good shot, though. I mean, upper right-hand corner, but Gebhardt's lost his confidence. Good goaltender, he's lost his confidence. Watch this. Good shot, the upper right-hand corner.
And Bob, that's 2 goals in 10 seconds.
Remember what I said? If you're down by 2 goals, you're within 10 seconds of tying it up. And that's what can happen in lacrosse.
Syracuse trying to get possession on the far side, and they finally do. See if they can get some offense going on their end.
I don't know, why does it come around?
Well, Matt Alexander heard you. Here he comes around, and he just buries it high. Now, don't forget the halftime interview, Carl Reuter. You were walking downstairs, I believe. But Coach Roy Simmons said, we got to quit shooting low on Sanderson. We got to go top shelf. We got to go high, and that's exactly why that shot was successful.
You know, I think it snuck in. Watch Alexander. It comes around. No one picks him up. He doesn't even realize it for a minute. Then he starts coming around. I think he beats him on the inside. He does. He beat him on the inside corner. That's not where, as a goalie, you want to be. Force the guy to shoot to the far side. It's a tougher shot. He beat him on his feet. I think it was between his head and the post.
Well, how about 5 goals in 3 minutes to start the second half?
This is what we expected. I think start translating that. You're going to need a calculator. How many goals have you scored?
Well, we've had 4 goals in 48 seconds. We've got a crew of 62 statisticians that come with Bob Rule, and we know exactly how many.
Now, notice Mulligan's a left hand, another lefty in the goal. A Farmingdale product. He was a great goalie. I think he was a high school All-American. Farmingdale High School.
Good-sized kid.
Yep.
He's listed as, well, here they only say 5'10". He looks like he's standing taller than that. So Mulligan takes over the goal duties. Wren has been testing people all day. Gilbert tries to get out in front. Easy pickup by the goalie Mulligan. Off to the wing. The sun going down a little bit. Is that going to be any factor later in the day on this field?
Well, this field's not bad because the sun goes this way, and you're going left to right, so it doesn't make as much of a difference as it would if the field was set up a little bit differently.
5-goal separation for these two teams. Virginia way out in front.
Other things, people not familiar with the game, in that circle, the goalie makes a save. He's got 4 seconds to either throw or to get out of there, but no offensive player can touch him while he's in there. It's your home. If you're a goalie, that's your home. Stay there.
Off to the wing. Syracuse takes a rocket shot from the near side. Berdisco from Woodbine, Maryland.
And a shot high to the right-hand side on lefty goalie. That was a good shot high.
Well, goalie's not starting off very hot in this third quarter. They're getting rattled. 12-8 the score. A 4-goal difference.
Now watch this. He'll get the ball. Watch this good feed. Here it comes. Good feed. Takes plenty of time. Shoots high to the right-hand side. Very good shot by Cadisco, but the play's really made by Macchione giving him the ball quickly. There it is. Watch this. Bang. He's got plenty of time to wind up. Virginia was a little slow in sliding.
And Bob, you notice that early in the game they were shooting low. Again, they shot high and scored.
Exactly.
Casey Powell on the wing.
On the wing of the face-up. They need the ball. They know it. They can't match goals. They've got to have a spurt here.
And Ryan Curtis is staying right with them. So Ryan Curtis started on the wing. It's Curtis and Powell. Casey Powell wheels and spins that one out of bounds. And Sanderson, it's funny, the two backup guys were so spread that it was Sanderson who gets the possession.
You know, and that's what drives coaches crazy. You really need a backup on that. You lose the ball on a shot like that's not right.
His brother was a little bit high on the pipe because he wanted to get the feed and was left trailing Sanderson.
And really, the weak side attacker's got to rotate behind them to help out. I can understand where you're there for the backup on the far pipe. The guy on this side of the goal should have gone behind.
Hanley Holcomb brings the ball down, gets it over to his teammate, Oki. That was the equipment timeout. Just a few seconds, I think, to get a chin strap button. Oki. Space, gets it down low. Here comes Virginia in close, and Mulligan makes a great save.
Good save by Mulligan. He guessed low, went low, and that's what the guy did. That's what a good shooter does.
Holcomb did a nice job, Bob. Holcomb did a great job of driving inside, getting position. And look at this save by Virginia's Oki. He knocks it out of bounds, but that is about as solid as an effort. He just launches himself to make the block.
And you know what's nice? Stops a potential fast break for Syracuse.
What a gamble, though, Bob. If he doesn't make that,
it's all or nothing. Yep. But nice save by Mulligan. He anticipated a little bit. Guy fake tie, went low, and Mulligan was there to make the save.
So they'll try to clear the ball. The new goalie Mulligan, he's been tested with a pretty good shot and come up big.
And that's so important. Make that first save for your confidence.
4 goals down. Here comes Syracuse. Driving hard and looking for help is Matthews. Kataya works the ball behind, and he gets the defensive checks of strong defense of Doug Davies. Davies against Kutaya. Kutaya pushing in, gets a double team. Ball goes behind the goal. The far side crowd reacted as if it was a good goal, but it was not, as you can tell. You had a better angle than the far side fans.
Now that was again offensive player in the cage, in the crease rather. Therefore they don't get a chance to. Therefore Virginia gets the ball back.
Assistant coaches for Virginia getting the team in and out. Most of these teams try to keep some of their great players along to help out the coaching staff as Jay Jalbert comes in out to David Wren.
What's nice is you get a fellowship, so you can go to school, get your master's degree, and help coach out. Coach, so the school benefits both ways. You get a good student in there, and they still have someone helping out.
And of course now you can make as much as you want.
And now, I know, I'd like to be involved in that. So that little piece of that big pie.
Virginia working the backside. It starts with Drew McKnight, goes to the far side. It's tucked a rate of ball and picked up by Michael Leahy. Leahy moved the ball beautifully. Virginia getting a lot of people involved. Melchione. Virginia's size, Bob, is the kind of size athletes. They're not going to really overpower anybody. They need to move the ball. Jalbert, the biggest of the bunch.
Exactly, and that's what they're doing so well. They're moving the ball, taking advantage of any Syracuse mistake to get open on the crease, finding the seam, all the stuff that they should be doing.
I say that, and I look at the stats. David Wren, of course, he's got a bunch of goals. 4 today, 6-2. There's a great shot in close by Virginia. They're waving it off. Crease violation. It would have been goal 13, but it is not. The defense, look at Mulligan. He is pumped. He came out and signaled other direction, folks.
And Mulligan came out and hammered Jalbert, which I used to love to do as a goaltender, get back to those attackers that shoot at you a little bit. The one thing I didn't like that Mulligan did, though, watch this now. Mulligan goes with his stick low. Go with your stick high. Watch him. See how his stick is low? He goes high with his stick, stick on stick. Jalbert never gets a chance to score. A little thing like that for goalies. Go stick on stick and then drive your body through him.
That crease violation, was that on Jalbert or an off player? Because he didn't look like he was anywhere near the crease.
I didn't see another player around the crease, so.
7:29 left, third quarter. 12-8 the score. Lee Felton, Bob Rule, and a steaming hot Coral Royer on the sideline. Syracuse down by 4, tries to get it in close. Sanderson, easy pickup. Nice double team. You just saw one offense in Virginia move the ball beautifully. You saw Syracuse come down time again, go to the one-on-one.
Exactly, and almost the side of the goal where they're really ready, the guy's ready to double. If you come out of your dodge to the lefty, you can't get to the far pipe. You want to come out of your dodge as a righty and go far pipe. Sanderson's hugging the corner, not giving him a good shot.
Davies clears, Baruch gets it back to Radeball, and then he goes far side. First base in there, Jamie Leachman. McKnight has been in the game the whole way. Again, statistics will show that he's really the glue. Late in the season, he had a game against Maryland. There's a big shot behind the goal. McKnight had 5 assists in the big ACC game. Well, they started focusing on the next game. Next game, he had 5 goals. I mean, the guy can do it all. Very tough to control on that end of the field. Glatzel.
Also, we're talking about Virginia comes in here really tournament hard. They played 3 of our top teams. They played Maryland, they played North Carolina, they played Duke in the ACC, and that toughens them up for a tournament now. I think that's hurting Syracuse a little bit right now.
The only thing in this game that they haven't seen, watch this, McKnight.
Good play.
Drew McKnight does a great job. They work it from the one side to the far side, and once McKnight got it, it was all his faking and all the reaction of goalie Mulligan. Good job. 13-8. They're back up by 5. A lot of time left. 5 goals to make up for Syracuse against a team in Virginia that's been ahead the whole game. Bob, they opened up strong. 2 goals by Wren. Never have to look back.
Last year when I saw UMass, I saw the UMass-Syracuse game. I'll tell you, not that they were lucky to beat UMass, but UMass was not nearly the team Virginia was. They beat them 10-8. It's like they had to get their legs again playing tough competition. Well, this time they're playing a Virginia team that's far superior to UMass last year, and they haven't stayed with them.
Well, when they beat them earlier this season, Virginia had 17 goals. And the reason they beat them is because they had 18.
In overtime.
So you better start getting the scoring in the field going if you want to have a chance on this one. Virginia looking away. What a great shot by Melchione. That was a look away. He takes it off. Casey Powell puts it on.
He's also the member of the USA team, right?
He's a member of the USA team.
There's the pipe.
Pipe shot. They beat Sanderson, but the ball comes back out. There are 5 goals down to Virginia. And good hit on Virginia's Jamie Leachman. Gives it back to Ira Vanterpool. Heavy double team on the side. You've got Drew McKnight coming up. Dom Stargio wants, well, what are we doing here? Maybe he wants a clarification. They're looking for distance. I guess they want the 5 yards on Vanterpool. The Mulligan now. Mulligan will clear. He's got somebody near side. Comes right toward the cameras. And here they go. Get it into Casey Powell's stick. Curtis. Challenge. Curtis beat. Powell's all by himself. Where are the white jerseys? There were 4 players on Powell. Somebody's got to be open. Unbelievable. Bob, there were 4 players playing him. Where were all the white jerseys?
Oh, great ball move. You're right. Where were they?
Showtime. I tell you, everybody was backing up Ryan Curtis. And it was as if the Syracuse players were watching the show.
Disappeared.
Oh, they're watching the show. It's a great show, but holy smokes, you got to get down there and get an easy shot. Curtis now back on Casey Powell as Kataja comes in with a tough one-on-one move against Doug Davies. Back door, they can't get the shot off as Syracuse tries to get Anceloni. Big check ball comes back into Ira Vanterpool. 3:12 left, still a 5-goal lead for Virginia. Powell the last to score in this game. Watch out, here he is again. Casey Powell gets checked. Beautiful slide. Took that shot away from Casey Powell.
He could be hurt.
Penn Leachman just leveled him. He'll be back up. Casey Powell has had that hit time and time and time again. Powell gets double teamed every day.
He's looking for the ball. That's what a great player does. Double team and good hit. Ooh. Boy, that was a little enthusiastic up in the head area.
And you saw what a great angle that was because you saw Leachman just parked and waiting. Casey Powell comes out for a moment. This is the only thing, number 22, that Virginia hasn't seen. You talk about their great schedule. They've seen it all. They've seen great scores, great scoring teams, great defenses. You just can't plan for a guy like Casey Powell because there isn't anybody else like
exactly.
Casey Powell.
It's like planning for Michael Jordan. He does so many things that really are amazing.
That one's Ryan Powell. The brother steps up and says, "You hurt my brother, I'll hurt you." 4 goals. That's what separates these two teams. Ryan Powell taking things into his own.
Now watch him just drive around his defenseman. Sheer power. Good face dodge and bang. Shoots nice and low. Sanderson didn't have much of a shot on that chance on that goal. Probably Virginia right now, I think they're starting to lose momentum a little bit. They're trying to play not to lose, which is a mistake.
Well, also you might say that Syracuse is playing with like their own chance to win.
Yeah, exactly.
They've really taken the ball. They've really taken the ball in the last couple minutes where they haven't done that before.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also, Mulligan stepped in and has nice outlet passes.
Has made a nice job of blocking some shots. Ryan Powell now taking over with his brother's absence. Powell in close. The goalie came out. He was all by
Here
himself.
He comes again.
Now he comes in and Ryan Powell scores. They're back to within 3. After the hit on Casey Powell, brother Ryan takes over and scores 2 in a row, 4 on the game. It's been a Powell brother hat trick the last 3 goals.
Now watch this. Great move. He comes out, beats his defenseman. Goalie comes out, but he doesn't quit. And the defensemen are both in the goal. And bang, he just beats Sanderson high. Notice it too. Sanderson's been beaten high virtually every time. Good play by Sanderson, actually, to force him behind the goal, but defensemen don't take over and play him after that.
Back to live action. Here comes McKnight. Watch out, gives off to Melchione. He'll have some space, and Mulligan makes a big block high.
Good save, but he shot high to his left side. Shoot high to his right, that might be a goal.
Well, you can't say Virginia doesn't know how to shoot against a left-handed goalie because they practice against one every day. So against Virginia, technical foul goes to Syracuse. You talk about the big momentum. Well, the Orangemen got it. A lot of orange up in the stands here at Hofstra. How about Mulligan? Is he a cheerleader or what? You know, Bob, when that end of the field you can really infect a team with a lot of energy by getting a guy who's a cheerleader in the goal.
You know, the thing is,
I mean, you have all that downtime in the goal. Why not be a cheerleader?
why not? The other thing is, the goalie's really like a quarterback. The enthusiasm and confidence that he can give to his defense becomes infectious, and that's just what's happening with Mulligan. They know they can score against these guys. They've done it in the past. They just don't want to run out of time. That's what they have to face. See, Casey Powell is back also in his usual spot.
1:55 left in the third. 3 goals separate. This is an extra man play. Backdoor! Casey Powell! The Pals! 4 straight goals. This is a ball game. 2 goals separate them. 14-12 is the score with 1:51 left in the third.
Watch this extra man. It's a textbook of how you feed a man. Okay, Ryan Powell gets it out to Ted. He's got the ball. Look at him cut and catch the ball. Where's the defenseman? He got that little seam and caught the ball and scored.
Neither team scored. The rest of this quarter, we'll come back and start the next. Stay with us. Hey, what are you doing in July? You want to see the best players in the world go head-to-head? Well, you can. The International Lacrosse Federation World Championships, commonly known as the World Games. They only happen once every 4 years. They haven't happened in the United States since 1982. And I hate to tell you, but I announced those a long time ago, folks. July 15th and 25th, I'll be doing the games this year as well for TV, but they're at Johns Hopkins Homewood Field. Call 1-888-98-CHAMP and get all the ticket information. This is a chance of a lifetime to enjoy lacrosse on an international scale. Carl Reuter.
All right, Leaf, the medical update on Jay Jalbert, number 10 for the Cavaliers. They put what they call Steri-strips right on his chin to close the wound. They're going to stitch it up after the game, but they went with the Steri-strip to get him back out into action right away. Back upstairs.
All right, we're going to continue this quarter. I'm going to start the quarter with an apology. Tim O'Hare, you're the man. I kept saying Gary Gate. Gary Gate leads in goals. Nobody will probably ever beat that, but 282 was the Tim O'Hare point total. Tremendous player from 77 to 80. Tim O'Hare was the O'Hara. Man, wake up, leave. Tim O'Hara was the player that was beaten by Casey Powell to take over the point total lead. Now, back to the game right here. This is the quarterfinals for 1998, and this one is really getting tense. The winner advances to Rutgers in the semis.
And, you know, right now, what Virginia's desperately trying to do is get some momentum back. Right now, they've lost the momentum, and they're starting to say to themselves, what's going to happen? When's Syracuse going to tie it up? They've got to get some confidence momentum back.
Virginia now, McKnight coming in. Diving play gives him a chance to get the ball over to the side, and it was a bad pass past Rada ball that takes it out of bounds. And that's that confidence level you're talking about.
Confidence, fatigue, they're tired. They've seen the momentum shift a little bit. They know what happened in the game early in the season. That's got to be in the back of their minds.
Tom Starchy is saying, what was that, folks? What play was that? Mulligan, big story there, a lot of mini stories. The goalie, number 13, bringing the ball up. He replaced Gebhardt and really kind of solidified the defensive end as Casey Powell and Ryan started to take over. Here comes Syracuse. Big shot and a goal. That one by Tim Burns.
Just outright beat his defensive player down the field, no backup. What a difference in terms defensively. He's got to back up when a big midfielder comes down.
Looks like nobody really got settled in the middle of the field there.
Nobody picked up men. Now watch. Mulligan gets a good pass, okay, and here he comes. Nobody picks him up. They're looking, they got their signals crossed.
Well, I'll tell you
just dodges, nobody came back to help out.
Well, David Baruch was right there, but he was playing him as a right-hander all the way.
As a right-hander, he went lefty,
Yeah, he was overplaying the right hand, waiting for him to drive that way, and then didn't really get his feet.
Yep.
Syracuse, another goal, 5 straight, 14-13. Bob, we talked about the run that had to happen if Syracuse was going to get into the game. Well, they've made that run.
And it starts with this guy right here, Casey Powell, inflaming Syracuse, getting 2 quick goals in the third quarter to get them going again.
Ball down now. This is the way they'll end the game if it doesn't go to overtime, with Syracuse attacking the goal to your right.
In your lead, 14-13.
Casey Powell picks it up. Ryan Curtis going way out. Casey Powell backs him out to make sure there's no backing, and then goes one-on-one with Curtis. Curtis, throw check. And look at the double coming well in front of the play. Bob, they double when he's about halfway to the goal. I think that's what you got to do against Powell. They're figuring he's going to beat one guy, and they're just sending the second guy right away.
Exactly. The only thing is you got to make sure the second backer comes to take over the man who backed up. What happened then is they had a good shot because the second man didn't come.
Disco gives it to the wing. And back in with Ryan Powell. Leach was really locking in on this.
23.
Ryan Powell doing a great job of taking the pressure of Leach. He's in close and just misses the goal. He was shoved into the crease, but they called a crease violation.
Crease violation.
It looked like he was hammered into the crease.
Well, we've seen a couple of interesting
And that's what he's asking the referees. How can I have not gone to the crease?
Because they did hammer him pretty good. I would have called push without possession, giving it back to them.
You guys be the judge. Take a look at this play.
All right, Casey Powell just working this man, and he really beat him, and then gets hammered into the crease.
I mean, he was launched by Jason Hart. Melchione, solid player who's had a really good second half.
Give you an idea too, he's from Garden City High School. The other kid he played with, Mike Ferrucci, was a player of the year in the Ivy League. Tim Glisker here plays for Syracuse. A lot of great players on the team he played in the high school. And Chris Massey on Princeton. All played with Melchione. That was some team they had when they were back at Garden City. I think they won the state championship.
A lot of talent there. Virginia now, this is Jalbert. We haven't heard from him for a while. He's the guy who can take over. Takes the shot and gets it behind Mulligan, but no goal. Well, he got just a piece of it. Beautiful job by Mulligan.
Nice play by Wren if he gets the ball back.
Abrams gets wrapped up by Wren, and the ball finally picked up. Push call goes back to UVA.
You know what's coming right now, Leaf? I always call it the fourth quarter on a hot day in the playoffs. It's a war. Right now, you're in a war right now. There should be nothing left. You should be spent at the end of this game. If you're not, there's something wrong. And these guys right now are really playing their hearts out.
Next time out, Bob will send you up and down the stairs one more time so you get into the spirit.
That's a war for me.
Virginia, Melchione. Late in the afternoon at Hofstra, 11:27 left. This has really taken some of the heat off the AstroTurf, and these guys are really enjoying, as great athletes do, the great competition, a one-goal game. For all that Syracuse has done in the last few moments, Virginia still, of course, leads by one, and all they have to do is maintain that to advance.
Now they've got a long stick on Wren.
Wren comes in, bounces it well in front of the goal, and Mulligan has looked very strong.
Very strong, but not a great shot. You know why? The long stick had a stick in front of Wren, and Wren never got a good shot off. They're smart now. They're taking Wren and cutting him off from the ball, or if he gets it, they're making sure that he doesn't get a good shot off.
Coming down the field, Syracuse just pulling back. Plenty of time left in the fourth quarter. Quarterfinal action with Syracuse and White driving into the goal, looking for help out front. Got it. Big shot, and there's a goal to tie the game. Beautiful job by Syracuse, and it's number 20, John Matthews.
And as Coach Simmons said, they're starting to beat Sanderson high. Again, they beat him high.
Another New York kid being a big factor.
Okay, John Matthews out, turns, good feed. Matthews got time to set up and beats him to the far side. Good shot. Look at that enthusiasm.
Syracuse has climbed back into this one. They've scored 6 straight goals. They've tied it at 14, but plenty of time left. Come back to Hofstra. Back at Hofstra, the Syracuse sideline. Roy Simmons happy now because he's in the driver's seat. He's had a tremendous run, Bob Roll. He's had 6 goals straight. He's got the game's best player and a tie game, so things are going pretty good.
You know, it's the first time I've seen him smile, but look at that. I don't see him any more enthusiastic or whatever than when he was losing by 6 goals. Gives you that look.
He's
not what's going on there.
He's not a goalie, Bob. He's an artist. He's an artist.
He's an artist, that's true.
And he sees things from a bigger view. Here comes Syracuse, the face-off. Long stick brings it in. Watch out, this will be a game winner.
Good
Not a
save.
game winner, but that could have given him the lead. And an excellent save by Sanderson, yes.
You went high and said, we were talking before, the Pals between them have 7 goals. That's what they mean to the Syracuse team. Casey with 3 and Ryan with 4.
Syracuse has never led in this game. Jay Jalbert now controlling things. Pressing in on the defense of Syracuse, and their defense becoming sheety. Oh, they tried to get after the wing, but it was really sniffed out beautifully by Syracuse. Nice play as they generate an offense from that tremendous defensive play. Matt Alexander just saw the pass coming and stepped up to pick it off.
And a little bit that's fatigue too, Leaf. He kind of made him up in his mind to throw it, even when he knew the guy might be covered.
He's in a great spot to shoot, I'll tell you that. He was passing it to a pretty weak spot. Inside, watch out, Kataya gives Syracuse the first lead of the game.
It's from Casey Powell. Powell comes out of the dodge, finds the guy, and scores a goal. It starts with Powell. Everybody's got a double Powell. They so fear him that it opens up other avenues. Kataya was wide open on that play, gets the ball, and scores.
The Orange bring a lot of great fans.
Here we go. Now watch this.
Cheering on.
There's Powell with the ball. You gotta respect him. Here comes the double. Watch Powell hit the guy real quick. Bang! Kataya scores.
Well, how easy is that? 3 players were on Casey Powell. All he has to do is give it up. I say all he has to do, but that is what he does beautifully.
That's what makes him so great. He found the open man. It's so hard to do for a lot of regular players.
Face off, back to Mulligan. Look at Mulligan.
Maybe Mulligan a little too fancy then.
Mulligan way too fancy. Are you kidding me? Here's the first lead of the game, and he's throwing it behind his back out of bounds.
The funny thing is that's what Syracuse does.
But you know what? Roy Simmons won't say one word about that.
Yeah, not a word.
His philosophy is, look, that's probably the biggest moment in lacrosse the guy's ever had.
Yeah.
And he gives him the opportunity to enjoy the moment.
Roy is an artist.
Rada ball tries to get it to Wren, but look at the defense stepping up for Syracuse now. Pushing upfield, Beglia. And here goes a fast break. Jeff Lowe. Lowe coming in. Pushed out beautifully by the defensive Curtis, who's caught down the other end. Whoa! Curtis had to step up off of Powell to stop the fast break, and Sanderson makes a real nice block.
You know what happened? Lowe never got rid of the ball. He could have given it to an attack, and then run a little give and go.
So 2 bad decisions, one by Mulligan, one by Lowe on the fast break. They come up with goose eggs in front. 0 goals in the last 12-25. Now Virginia was ahead the whole game and then really hit a scoring drought here. Mulligan, a catalyst for that.
Mulligan comes in, makes a couple of nice saves, but pumps them up and makes them more confident.
Red goes all over to Rada ball.
Good player in high school, though. He was a high school All-American here at Farmingdale High School, played a couple Nassau County championships, so he knows what it's like to play in the press.
Are you kidding me? Playing in front of his home crowd here at Hofstra, basically. He loves it. Fast break going out. They're trying to get it going. This is Suffarelli. He'll take a shot, and he gets the far post. 2-goal lead for the Syracuse Orangemen.
Transition is death for teams that play Syracuse, and that's what happened then.
I think it was Timmy Burns. I can hardly tell it. 21 to 27. 21, Timmy Burns.
Tim Burns. No, 27.
27. That was.
You're right, Suffarelli. Now watch this. It starts with Mulligan getting the ball and feeding right there, feeding Suffarelli right away.
This guy has no goals in the season at this point.
Here he goes. They never really pick him up, but he takes a good, hard shot to the right side. Watch him coming down. No one really picks him up. He takes a good, hard bounce shot to the far side.
Well, sophomore from Freeport, New York. Went to Baldwin. A lot of hero stories being built here in front of the Long Island crowd. Timeout called by Syracuse, but how about this run? And now we move later in the quarter with Syracuse in possession. Syracuse trying to get a lot of pressure. Soliday has looked great. Soliday gets stripped. It'll be an extra man play. You know, they found a new offensive hero in this Brian Soliday.
Well, Soliday was Soliday was a solid player when he was at Bethpage High School. Played on the state championship team. Played on the midfield, A.J. Haugen, the great player down at Hawkins. So he's a quality ball player that's coming up to play for them.
Stepping up big here. He was driving from behind the goal, drew the foul. 2-goal lead for Syracuse, a chance to make it 3.
I think
would you call this a
2-for-2 man up?
2-for-2 man up, and this would be, you know, again, if you want to mark your VCR, if you're a Virginia fan, this is where your team can turn it back.
Yep.
You're either going to be 3 down, or you're going to get some fresh, emotional lift from your defense.
You get that it's a 2-goal swing. It's a psychological thing. If you could get the ball and then come down and score.
Kataya out to Vanderpool.
Now what's smart, Syracuse is being very deliberate. They don't have to score.
Ryan Powell looks far side and elects to take a shot. He faked like he was going to go to Kataya, and then he just buries it near side. 3-goal lead, Syracuse.
We got Sanderson off the pipe and beat him inside. 5 goals for Ryan Powell.
That's the nice thing about Casey Powell. I mean, he doesn't care who gets the accolades. He wants to win the game. He gets all the pressure. He gets all the defense. Go ahead, Ryan. He says, baby brother, you take the shots.
Exactly. Watch Ryan Powell. Now, this is great. He looks off, bang, shoots high to the right-hand side. Powell, when you look at Sanderson, he's got to respect that pass. And comes off the pipe a little bit, and Powell beats him high to the inside.
I'll tell you, Kataya was naked. He was wide open on the other side. Yeah. It would have been a slam dunk for Kataya. Big check for Ryan Powell, who tried to get some hard riding in there. It's Melchione. Don't come any tougher than him. Offsides for Syracuse. They didn't call it. Looked like they were offsides. They do call it now. It was offsides for Powell. It took them a while to recognize it, but finally they do.
Now, offsides from the defensive side of the field, you've got to have 4 people on. They only had 3, and since Virginia has the ball, they're going to go a man up.
J. Jalbert takes it in again.
But you know, that was a nice play. It came around, shot low, and Mulligan was quick as a cat to come down on the ball. If that goes in, they go up a goal, but they'll have a face-off then, but still, they get the goal, which is what they want.
There's J. Jalbert. Now another chance for Virginia to get things going their way. They're down by 3. 9-goal run for Syracuse. And now they have 6 players against 5 for Syracuse. If they're going to make a move, Bob Rule, this is the time to do it.
They have to do it now. They need momentum. They need confidence. They don't feel like they can beat Mulligan right now.
I think it's a little simpler than that. They need goals.
They need goals, that's right.
And this is a good chance to get one.
A goal will give them confidence. It's a 30-second penalty.
Rate of ball goes behind. Michael Leahy out to Jalbert. Melchione, nice rotation. Usually players will start after 1 full rotation. Now they get into a player movement, player rotation, and Leahy through in close to McKnight. It was a high pass by Radeball. Bob, he was there. It was a high pass.
But you know the difference? We were calling the game about 15 minutes ago. Casey Powell catches the same kind of pass and stuffs it in. A little bit of a difference between a really great player and a real good player.
We'll be listing Bob Rule's home phone number for them to listen. So the McKnight family can call him.
No, he's a great player. I'm not knocking, but that's the difference.
There's a play to try to get it in close. McKnight tried to feed Radeball. That was the, both combination. Missed on both ends. Yep. Radeball tried to hit McKnight. McKnight tried to hit Radeball. Both times they misfire. Now we're under 4 minutes, and it's a 3-goal lead. No goals in 16:25. Starsia cannot believe it. In the other semifinal, Princeton kind of did the same thing to a team from North Carolina, Team Duke. Yeah, Duke's down there just not scoring forever. That took them out of the game.
I think they went 27 minutes. They're up 8-4, 32 minutes before they scored a goal.
Mulligan taking his time in this no-man zone.
Now,
Casey Powell picks that up a ball low and inside.
Looked like a shortstop on that one. Now, with 2 minutes to go, they've got to keep the ball in the box if you're ahead. But what they want to do, they don't want to. They have no great desire to score right now. They don't have to score to win. They got to get in the box though. You can't stall. Where that 30-yard line marker is, you got to keep the ball inside that.
Ryan Powell trying to draw a flag.
Got hammered pretty good in the face there.
Really taking some target practice on him. This is not, I'm going to tell you something, folks, this is not easy for the Orangemen to do. They don't like to kill time in this end of the field. They want to go to the cooker. They know right now the clock is really going to help them. Back up front, they still take some more time off it.
They got to start to, Sanderson's got to come out and double the ball a little bit.
Stuart Smith back to Kataya. Now he's got to get some tough pressure from Doug Davies. Davies puts the ball on the ground. Old call against Davies, gives it back to Syracuse. Casey Powell says, whoop, give me the ball, and this is what they do. Every time Roy Simmons gets a chance, he wants the ball, and we're going to stop the play. He wants the ball into the stick of number 22.
They're tired, though. You can see Virginia's a little bit tired on defense.
This is Soliday. He's had some good shots, and there's one that was checked out of range by Peter Ragosa.
Now, Brian, why are you shooting the ball? That's what I'm asking. You've got control. Just take the ball behind. If nothing else, you want discipline.
Casey Powell bounce passes to Ryan. Sloppy pass. I don't know if he meant to bounce pass or not. Whatever, it goes over to Virginia. There's a penalty against Syracuse, and there'll be a chance for Virginia to get a free shot, and then they'll have an extra
Exactly, because it's going to be a personal foul, so the foul will count.
And Mulligan makes the great save. 1:47 left. Virginia's going to make it interesting. They'll come back and have a 6-on-5 opportunity. The drama of quarterfinal action right here at Hofstra's Field. It's Syracuse in white with a 3-goal lead. Virginia now with an extra man play, 6-on-5. They've got to score here, Bob Rule, if they're going to have a chance in this game.
No doubt about it.
Great ball, rocks and fires, and picked up by Mulligan. He has been one of the heroes. Ryan Powell on the offensive end, Mulligan on the defensive end. Here goes Syracuse.
Now they got to keep it in the box.
Ball hit by Kataya, so the ball will go back to Virginia, but I think they still have a chance and they still have an extra man. Melchione will bring it up.
Melchione's got to push the ball up and try to shoot. Someone's got to shoot here quick.
Now it's too late now. It's even up at this point, but they still got a good shot in close, and they couldn't quite handle it. The ball right through the stick of Michael Leahy. Bob Rule, they have missed 3 connections in front of goalie Mulligan in the last 2 minutes.
Exactly. That's just, when things go bad, things go real bad. That's what's happening to Virginia right now. These are good ball players.
And you hear the Orangemen,
happen.
The great crowd here from upstate New York standing up, cheering. They draw a crowd wherever they go. The faithful Orange fans will follow. And you can bet they'll be at Rutgers next week. Well, we're getting some of the familiar faces, but a pretty good showdown in Rutgers. You got Princeton already there. You got Syracuse, looks like they're going to be on the way. And then some teams playing.
Saved by Mulligan. And here's an interesting question. Who do you start in the goal next week for Syracuse? It's going to be a big question.
Well, Mulligan came off the bench pretty well. Maybe you start Gephardt and come when you need him. Watch Syracuse taking the shot and off the back of the net.
Defenseman's dream.
Yeah, Kevin Sheedy. Eyes lit up, didn't he?
Yes, it did. Fortunately, the goal didn't light up for him.
Casey Powell now trying to burn off the final 27. Powell was very happy to go ahead and take the double-triple team. Oh, and the referee went down, took a tumble. Casey Powell whirling in front. He's got 3 players. Look at that. A little bit of showmanship by Casey Powell to end the game. Casey Powell's been held in check. He's elected to give the ball up all game. He said, hey, folks, I got one showstopper for you. Didn't quite get it to connect.
You know, I like the one we did the behind-the-back shot down at this end was a pretty impressive goal.
Shot on Mulligan. He makes the easy save. Syracuse going to the semis. They beat Virginia 17-14, and they scored the last 9 goals of the game. How about that? Roy Simmons, not that it's not expected, but they dug themselves a hole against Virginia. And
crawled right out of it.
Crawled back and took this one by 3 goals. We expected them to be around 17. We expected Virginia to be up around there in the first half. The second half killed them.
What you saw was sheer power today. You saw the Powell brothers in action, but they've got a great supporting cast too.
We'll go back with final comments from Hofstra in just a moment. Syracuse wins by 3. Syracuse wins by 3, 17-14, and they advance to the semifinals at Rutgers. We want to remind you that today's NCAA playoff action has been brought to you by STX, performance-driven, precision-crafted, by Hofstra University, we teach success, by A.G. Edwards, serving the investment community since 1887, by Manhattan East Suites Hotels, and by Cablevision. Well, this game was pretty much the way we expected. It ended up with the big guns on the offense for Syracuse taking charge.
Yeah, and if you look right now, it's the 2 Powell brothers who stepped up real big at the end. First guy, though, Ryan Powell's the guy who stepped up, scored a couple of quick goals to give Syracuse momentum. Here comes Ryan right now, driving real hard around the goal, takes a good hard shot and beats Sanderson. This was the start, this shift of momentum to Syracuse right there.
All right, so Syracuse will advance. A good hard-fought game against Virginia. For Carl Reuter and Bob Rowe, I'm Lee Felswell. Thanks for watching our quarterfinal action. And our thanks to Barry Landers, the executive producer, who couldn't be here to announce, off on another assignment. We'll see you next time.